Vaughn, how's it going, buddy?
Is it too late now, January 10th, to say Happy New Year? Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David would say, after Jan 7th, forget it. But Happy New Year, buddy.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I think I'm out of it. I'm not saying that in all my emails anymore. I'm saying I don't know what's next.
Let's
Easter, I
go.
guess, is
Let's
coming up.
get fired up.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
happy
Easter is way
Easter.
out. April
Yeah.
21st or something this year. So it's a
Oh, it's
long
too
one.
far.
Yeah.
It's too far.
Yeah. There's hopefully no
So
snow on the ground by then.
hopefully not. I mean, biggest news of the day or the week or even maybe the year is we're gonna have a new prime minister in 2025.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a new one anyway and a new government. What a I don't know, a kick in the downstairs for Canada, for Prime Minister after 10 years of mostly failures. I think for him to say, "Hey, I'm going to step down after we pay everybody 3 months not to work, and then
Right.
hopefully, if we find a new leader, I'll step down." There was a condition there that if there's a new leader for the Liberal Party, he'll step down. But it also means that we're frozen, that we can't have an election until this happens. So what a waste of taxpayer dollars here. I don't think there's much to be happy about. Everybody who
Right.
celebrated, I think that you're probably celebrating too early.
I think I see it as probably more positivity. I see a bit of a silver lining in this. I think the government since September has been kind of frozen. A lot of non-confidence votes, a lot of talk about, what is this government doing, and not really being able to get it across the finish line to be able to get the other parties have not been able to force Trudeau out. It's really happened within his own party to get him out the door. And I think proroguing the government is a feature. It's not a bug. I think that let's get this guy out. Let's move forward. If this was another country, we might have to wait a specific amount of time to get a new leader.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
the Canadian community and country has spoken, and it's time for Trudeau to move on. After 10 years, it'd be time for any government to move on.
I mean,
I
I would have
think that
lost the bet if the bet was that Trudeau is going to step down. I would have said no. Typically the hubris and the egos really get a hold of these people. So, definitely the right move. I don't think it will save the Liberal Party from the next election. I think that one's already written in stone of a conservative majority. But you never know. It's definitely
you never know.
his party, wanted him out, and it's the only chance that the Liberal Party would have in the next election. I don't think it's enough. What do you think?
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that the Liberal Party can make a big turnaround. I don't think that Trudeau is the sole reason that people don't that people want a new government. I think he's the lightning rod for all the criticism. I think he's comes across very I don't know if arrogant is the right word, because I don't think he's necessarily arrogant. He's definitely sure of himself. But I think that the world has moved on in the last 10 years when Trudeau came in as the sunny days prime minister. And I just think that we're not there anymore, but he's really the same guy that he was.
Look, he probably did as good as a high school drama teacher could do running a 40 million person country, right? So if there's a finger to point, you're going to have to point it right in the mirror at anybody who voted for this guy and continued to vote for him, knowing that he was a high school drama teacher. I don't know, like what did we really expect? He got up there on stage with the tears over and over again. Brought in new paid stat holidays for bankers and government employees, and
Which one are you talking about? Like what government
the
holiday?
Truth and Reconciliation Day. I remember when,
So we
and
shouldn't. I think you're treading into dangerous territory there, because I
how
think
so?
like Well, I think that he's done a lot to for reconciliation of the Indigenous community. I think like over the history of Canada, we've really not treated them that well.
Oh,
And
and look, I'm
and
pro. You're cutting
we
out there.
have like we have St. Patrick's Day, and we have
Well,
like
that's not a paid holiday for government employees and bankers only, exclusively. This is all I'm saying is that, like the heart is in the right place. Um, the support for our Indigenous communities in the right place. But the first year he did it, he took his family on a vacation to Tofino, instead of doing something maybe more memorable like meeting with Indigenous leaders. It's
yeah,
embarrassment
there's
after
no doubt.
embarrassment for this guy. Uh,
Yeah. He's managed to
so
step
long
in
farewell.
so many like unbelievable at stepping in controversies, like just like unaware of his actions, and like, oh, this would be a good idea, but not really thinking the whole thing through.
This is what I'm saying. If you're going to
And at the end
introduce
of
a
the day,
national
like he
holiday with
has to have people.
Sorry,
Yeah, he
if you're
has
going to
to have
introduce a
people
national
around him
holiday
that
with
have to
with,
be
with
saying
so
that.
much meaning, and
Yeah,
something then be there and be present, especially on the first year of the thing. It's not for you to take your family on vacation. If it's St. Patrick's Day, sure, yeah, go to the pub. If you're going to make
right.
that a national holiday, this has more meaning. He floundered it. He's dropped the ball over and over
Definitely.
again.
I don't think we've ever had a prime minister that has been able to get himself into his own trouble on his own doing, quite like Justin Trudeau has done. Like he
Absolutely.
creates these scenarios for himself. And if I think about like, well, how so I put Justin Trudeau aside, and I don't love to get political in my own personal life. So maybe I'm treading a little bit into uncharted waters here. But if I think about the person that could get the ideals that I like, which is a centrist point of view, elected, Justin Trudeau was that guy at that time, trying to find a leader to be the leader of the um, liberal government is difficult to find a leader at all. Conservatives have struck gold with Pierre Poilievre, who's like resonating with people, but they've had a series of leaders that have not worked out. And now what? Right. And now you've got somebody, you're going to run with it. 5 years from now, maybe we've got a liberal leader who's in place that can challenge him. But
That
I
could
just think
happen.
that
I mean, I look at all this polarization, and I feel like it's truly not Canadian. We've been a very respectful country, I think, over the years to our various leaders, and Stephen Harper's time ran out. He was quite popular
yeah,
for two elections, and at the end of it, Canada had decidedly moved on from him. Um, and that's sort of around where the controversy kind of started within our country. Um, I don't have
you think
high
that's where it
expectations.
started?
I mean, it was around that time, around
Yeah.
the end of the Harper administration. I mean, when Trump was elected in 2016, that really kicked off a new playbook. I would say a new
Hmm.
political playbook. More division between the two parties. And Canada's typically been center right, center left, back and forth.
Yeah.
Not a very far swinging pendulum. And now it seems
Yeah.
that we're going into a farther swinging one. My hope is that we just learn our lesson from this, because I don't think that the next administration in Canada is the long term solution for this country. And I will say this: 1971, The Who released an album called Who's Next? And I think it was track 8 or 9 on that. It was We Won't Get Fooled Again. And people haven't
Yeah.
been listening to that. And it shows when I see the excitement of people thinking that the next guy is going to be the savior, and getting rid of this guy is going to solve all our problems. We're doing that in North America, in Canada and the US. Everybody's getting excited. I think that you need to go back and listen to that Who
For
track,
sure.
and remind yourself that we are the solution, the people, not the government.
I think that's exactly my point, is that we've got I think any government expires, any leader expires. Everybody was very sick of Harper at that time for a good reason. And people are sick of Trudeau for a good reason. They were both in power for 10 years, like in that time frame, around 10 years of power. And any government is going to get stale at that point. But that doesn't mean that the next party is all of a sudden going to fix everything. It's just a new flavor of your politics. And, will all of a sudden, Trump come in power and lower everybody's grocery prices? Absolutely not. But that's what the next group is running on. And that's what that's what Trump's running on. That's what Polyev is running on. This idea that the government has messed it up and we're going to fix it. And that's the playbook every single time. The government has messed it up. We're going to fix it.
Yeah.
And when Polyev
the new
and the
government is
conservatives
going to fix the problems of the old government, give me a break.
Exactly.